Today we're going to learn about commas. I took a majority of the information for this lesson from the Purdue OWL website. Always cite your sources. One of the first lines on this website, it says, "When speaking, we can pause or change the tone of our voice to indicate emphasis. When writing, we use punctuation to indicate these places of emphasis." Today we're going to learn a little bit about how and when to use commas to put those emphasis on, as we would when we're speaking. I'm going to read this sentence aloud to you. You can hear I use almost every type of comma in this sentence. Because you're cool, a fun, awesome, flipped lesson created by Mr. Koblinski, your 11th grade English teacher. So pay attention. I have another quote down here to use the numerous ways you can use commas from the teachings of Buddha. Greed, lust, fear, anger, misfortune, and unhappiness all derive from foolishness. Yeah. The first type of comma we're going to learn about today joins two independent clauses. These commas are used to join two independent clauses and by using a coordinated conjunction. These are used with the simple words and, but, or, for, nor, and so. Our example provided by Purdue OWL: road construction can be inconvenient, but it is necessary. These are the most basic. When you're combining two independent clauses, you're going to use one of these smaller words in between. A comma needs to be stuck in between here. Here's our second example. The new house has a large fenced backyard, so I'm sure our dog will enjoy it. Scroll on down to our practice. The books are cool, but I like the movies. Where's the comma supposed to go here in this sentence? Obviously, before the small word that conjoins our two. The second type is the introductory commas. These introductory commas allow us to put preparatory phrases or dependent clauses in the beginning or sometimes at the end of sentences. The first example here: to get a good grade, you must complete all of your assignments. To get a good grade alone is not a standalone sentence. Alone, to get a good grade does not make sense. It's a dependent clause. Because of this, you have to add it to an independent clause, a sentence that stands alone. Alone, you must complete all of your assignments, is true. But along with to get a good grade, we have more knowledge about why you must complete all of your assignments. Our second example: because Dad caught the chicken pox, we canceled our vacation. Because Dad caught the chicken pox is not a complete sentence. It's a dependent clause. So it must be added to the independent clause, we canceled our vacation. Because we canceled our vacation can stand alone as an independent clause. Moving on to our practice. When I was in Spain, I found the rain fell on the plane. Fell mainly on the plane. Of course, if you know the famous song. So when does this fall? Where does the comma fall here? When I was in Spain. When I was in Spain is the dependent clause here. It does not make sense. I found the rain fell mainly on the plane. While it may sound a little funny because we don't have all the background knowledge, it's still a complete independent clause. When we add when I was in Spain, I found all the rain fell mainly on the plane, we have much more information about the plane and the rain. Moving on to our fourth type of comma, the list or separating commas. These commas are used to separate elements in a series. Although there is no set rule that requires a comma before the last item in a series, it seems to be general academic convention to use it. We'll get to that later. To begin with, on her vacation, Lisa visited Greece, Spain, and Italy. Basically, these commas are going to be used to separate things in a list of common things. Where are the countries that she visited? Greece, Spain, and Italy. So we divide all of them with a comma. Along with this, in their speeches, this is an introductory phrase, a dependent phrase, separated by a comma. Many of the candidates promise to help protect the environment, bring about world peace, and end hunger. What's the list of things that the candidates promised? These, all separated by commas. So tonight, in our practice sentence, tonight I have to do my Spanish, math, English, and physics homework. How do we divide these? One after each one. What are the four subjects I have to do tonight? Spanish, math, English, and physics. Moving on to our fifth, the non-essential information commas. These commas will basically put a chunk in the middle of the sentence or on the end or in the beginning that's not essential to what it needs to what needs to be known about the independent clause, however offers us some additional information that's important. So, John's truck, a red Chevrolet, needs new tires. Do we really need to know that John drives a red Chevrolet? No. Is it additional information that might be interesting to us? Yes. So how do we stick it in there? 2 commas on each side. When he realized he had overslept, Matt rushed to his car and hurried to work. Do we need to know that Matt had overslept? No. But it gives us a lot more context for why he's in such a hurry. On to our practice questions. I saw Lindsay with her cat, a yellow tabby, in the alleyway. This one you can hear it as we hear it, as I said in the beginning with that quote from the Purdue Owl about how commas in some ways reflect our inflections. I saw Lindsay with her cat, a yellow tabby, in the alleyway. You can hear it in my voice where the breaks are. I saw Lindsay with her cat, a yellow tabby, in the alleyway. Do we really need to know that the cat is a yellow tabby? No, but it's kind of interesting. My computer, a MacBook, doesn't work very well. This is actually a true statement. So what don't we actually need to know about my computer? That it's a MacBook. My computer, a MacBook, not really that important, doesn't work very well. That's what's important. That's the independent clause. My computer doesn't work very well. It's an independent clause. Moving on to our sixth type. These are the coordinating adjectives. So almost like our list commas, if we're going to get really in-depth and wordy and we're going to use more than one adjective, these adjectives need to be separated by commas. On to our first example. The irritable, fidgety crowd waited impatiently for the rally speeches to begin. Irritable and fidgety, the 2 words we're using to define the crowd, pretty relatable, separated, or not necessarily separated, but connected by commas. The sturdy, compact suitcase made the perfect gift. What is the suitcase? It is both sturdy and compact. We just have to use a comma in order to make it official. Here's our practice sentence. My brother is the most annoying, smelling, bad, gross, irresponsible best friend I've ever had. Where do our commas go? They go in between all of the items of our list. What adjectives am I using to define my brother? Annoying, smelly, bad, gross, irresponsible. So let's stick these in here. Annoying, bad, gross. And then we don't put one on the end. Irresponsible, all of these defining the best friend that my brother is. Our last set of commas are the transitional commas. These, like our independent clause commas, are triggered by certain words. These, however, are after transitional elements, not those small interrupting words as earlier that connect independent phrases. These are like however, therefore, nonetheless, also, otherwise, finally, instead, thus, of course, above all, for example, in other words, as a result, on the other hand, in conclusion, in addition. So one of these transitional words, for example, is, for example, the Red Sox, Yankee, and Indian are popular baseball teams. For example is this transitional word that we use to transition, of course, from one topic to the next or to connect them in some way. Also, what other types of commas are being used in here? Oh, it's a list. There you go, commas in between. Our next example, if you really want to get a good grade this semester, however, you must complete all the assignments, attend class, and study your notes. Our word, however, here triggers the 2 commas on the side. How would you define this first one? If you really want to get a good grade semester, this would be an introductory phrase separated by an introductory comma. On to our practice. First, you want to take a step, however, don't go too far. So where is our transitional comma? We have an introductory comma at the beginning, however, our transitional comma is in between the however. In addition, make sure you lock the door after in addition. Alright, I hope that you guys learned something about commas today. That's all I have.